Hey there, friends. It is Bailey and I, and today we're going to take you to the Port Sheldon Natural Area. This is another open space, and it allows us to do a little bit of off-leash training. Of course, I still have my leash on Bailey, and we will just stroll through these paths and see what kind of cool things we can find, including a little dragonfly. These paths are a little bit closer in. You are constantly running into the different bit of flora that is about. It is a beautiful area, and the paths are well marked as far as being dirt, but there are not any signs that tell you where you're going or how far the loop is. It's a pretty simple path. It is actually a loop. We'll get to a spot in a little ways where you can either go right or left, and then from that area we just continue to move around and explore the beautiful nature. Sometimes this area is a little bit more moist than some of the other areas, so I managed to time this where we had about 4 or 5 days of not raining so that it's not as muddy as sometimes it is. Today we're out here in the morning trying to beat the July heat. It's been kind of a hot week, and it's good to get out and enjoy a little bit of wilderness before it starts to get really hot. This is where the paths branch right and left. We're going to take the path to the right. You'll notice the arrows work either way. There is no correct way. This is just what I always choose. You may notice I am carrying the leash again. That is because this area is a little moist off to the right. It's kind of a little bit of a swamp, and Bailey wants to always run down in it and get covered with the black stuff, and I am not interested in dirty puppies in the car. Right, big girl? This is where it starts to get low, and it's kind of hard to tell, but down there it does start to get moist, and then you end up with a dark black puppy, which is great if you chose a black lab, but doggone it, I did not choose a black lab. Come on, big girl, let's go. Good girl. This is one area where Bailey quite often chooses to go right, but it looks like today she's going to make a good decision and stay with me. Right, big girl? And there goes my puppy. Good job. It's nice to be building that trust so I can let her stay behind and sniff everything she thinks is interesting. And she eventually catches up to me and doesn't get into any trouble. Yes, good girl. This walk is not tremendously long, and there are not many options. It's really just one loop. It is beautiful. As you can see right there is all that muck I was talking about down below. You definitely don't want your puppy in that. And Bailey's doing good staying on the path today, although she did find a bone, which we don't need to be chewing bones we find out here. Probably some small animal. So let me get that out of your mouth. Here's another one of those areas where it feels a little more like a jungle than a forest. And of course, anytime you've got the things closing in on you like this, make sure you're checking yourself and your pet for ticks. Nope, that's where we stay up, Bailey. I don't want you down in the muck. Good girl. The path is not totally smooth. You may notice that fun little bump where I was looking at the phone and the dog instead of watching where I was walking. Here we turn away from the water, and I can let her run just a little bit more. Good girl. Yes, way to come when called. Yes, you're a good girl. Good girl. Way to stay close. I know it's fun to run, but it's good to stay close as well. This over here was obviously clear cut not too long ago. It looks much different than it does over here to the right, where you've got the much older forest. You are such a good girl waiting for me. I have not measured the distance in this loop, but I can't tell you it's not terribly long. I think we can do it in about 25 minutes, depending on how much Bailey decides to pause and check out the sights. We are back into leash on mode, as when you come around this corner, there is a lovely little creek. And the creek is awesome, but once again, I don't need a wet puppy, so she's not going in the creek. She always wants to, though, let me tell you. You can see down there it starts to get dark, as in the muck, and then behind it, you can see the very cool little creek. And of course, Bailey went around the tree, so that makes it trickier for me to get her to keep going, but hey, let's live on the edge and just tell her to come. Ah, that moment when the trust pays off. It's a great day, friends. Good job, Bailey. And there's Bailey thinking about the river again, and she got scared. Scared by a fern? That was pretty funny. This area over here, we are directly across from where I showed you that it was cut down a little while ago. There is not a path across there, but since it's an open space, there's no rule that says you couldn't be the person that made one if for some reason you wanted a path that cut across. Do you hear that birdie? They make funny noises, don't they, Bailey? Alright, so this is one of my favorite parts because we get a good look at the little creek. Come on down, Bailey Boo. As you can see, it is still dark mud, which is dangerous. But I think we can walk over on this side and actually get a sip if we aim correctly. Let's go over the tree. Look at that, living the dream. Of course, you're going to try and go in, aren't you? You see that swimming? What did you see? And of course, there is the chance to make friends. Which is part of the fun of it being an off-leash place. Let's take our time, big girl. This also lets us check out an amazing tree. Check out the angle that thing is leaning at. Yet it is still standing. Amazing. So that's the last of the scenic parts on the way back. Now it's just the nice, awesome trail in the forest. As you can see, it is a good place to do some off-leash training. The loops make it so there's lots of place between you and other puppies, even if they're out here as you're trying to learn how to interact when you don't have a leash. Alright, so you can see here, friends, those are those stakes that I showed you back in the beginning. And now Bailey and I are heading back towards the car. One of us a little more faster than the other. I'm going to keep moving and let Bailey catch up because the bugs are out and about, which is never my favorite part. I do like the views though, and I love the sound of the puppy coming up on me. Good job, big girl. Good job. Alrighty friends, so that is 160th Street, and this is the open space. Keep an eye out for those 2 light poles, and that'll help you see where you're supposed to turn to get to the natural area. Alrighty friends, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you got a question, comment, or a suggestion, maybe another place we should be checking out, add it in the description below. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button, and last but not least, hit the notification bell if you want to be the first to know when there's a brand new video from me and Bailey. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. You gonna get in the video, Bailey?